Now the key factor here is, what is this election going to be like? Is it going to be like 2012, the previous assembly election, where the Samajwadi Party swept? And if you add the Congress, because they're an alliance now, it's a huge victory for them in 2012. Or is this election going to be like 2014, where the Modi wave just took over Uttar Pradesh? They won 7 out of 8 seats here. It was a phenomenon. So which one is it going to look like? Let's have a look at the difference. In 2012, the percentage vote got by the BJP was just 15%. But in 2014, it went up to 43%, an increase of 28%. Even in Dorab's greatest experience, this kind of a swing of 28% is very, very rare. And the interesting point is that 28%, it got almost equally from all the other parties. It's not that one party suffered more. Samajwadi Party down 7%, Congress down 6%, BSP down 6%, and others and independents, and including the RLD, down 9%. So a huge uniform attack on all the other parties. Not quite the same if you look at the seats, because votes and seats get converted in different ways. The BJP in 2012 got 47 seats, and it went up to, guess what, 337 out of 403. That's an increase of 290 seats. But now in seats, it got most of its seats from the Samajwadi Party, who had the biggest setback imaginable. It lost 184 out of its 226 seats and was down to just 42. The Congress was down by less than half, and the BSP smashed from 80 seats down to 9 seats only. What an absolute drubbing. So what's going to happen? Is it more like 2012 or more like 2014? What do the opinion polls say? Now, there are a lot of problems with opinion polls, not Dorab's, I mean, you know, ordinary ones. Because we know the opinion polls got Brexit wrong, they got Trump wrong. We saw in Punjab they gave every alternative. And what about in Uttar Pradesh? This is what the opinion polls say. And guess what? They say almost every alternative is possible. One poll says the Samajwadi and Congress is winning this election. Another poll says the BJP is winning this election. And the third one says, guess what? A hung assembly. So what's happening with opinion polls? Are people not telling the truth? Are our methodologies need to change? I think it's a whole turning point. Now here's an important point. What will it take? And this is the subject, underlying subject of this entire program. What does it take to win Uttar Pradesh? And we have something called the snake, the victory snake of Uttar Pradesh. This is what it looks like. As you start off, the returns to votes in terms of seats is very low. You have to hit 35% votes to get a majority. That's 202 seats. 35. Now remember that. That's crucial in Uttar Pradesh. Every party has 35% in their mind. Some say I'll make it with 33, but frankly 35, and you get 202 seats. After that, you start getting less returns to seats for an increase in votes. But let's say, like, 2 examples. In 2014, if you look at assembly segments, with 43% of the vote, the BJP got 337 seats. That's where the head of the stake starts flattening out. And the tail, if you look at the Samajwadi Party with 22%, that's pretty high, got only 42, that's almost 10% of the seats. So Dorab, this 35 is now the threshold. Everybody's got to get there, right?
Yeah, in a three-way fight, 35 should normally be more than enough to win. It's just that, you know, what do the second and third person get? Because as you were saying, the dividends are very low. Mayawati got 9 seats with 20% of the vote. Can you imagine? So it's a 4.5% of the vote. It's just, so I think you got to, how well you depends on how badly the second guy does.
Right, right. So 35 is kind of the minimum, but it can change a little bit here or there. You're always hedging your bets, that we know. Yeah?
Although I think in this case, it will depend more on how badly the third guy does.
Yeah.
Because one thing that all the polls agree on right now is that BSP will be number 3. So if BSP does reasonably well still, they hold on to something closer to their 26% core vote, 2012 vote, then it will be SP Congress positive. if they really collapse as they did in 2014, this will be hugely BJP positive, because that means a lot of their Dalit Hindu vote is shifting to the BJP.
Now, as Kamal was just saying, UP is all about caste, and Akhilesh may be trying to change that, but whether it works or not, historically up to now, it's all about caste. Let's have a look at the BJP's victory in 2014. How did it break up caste-wise? And there's a lot of research done by this young man, Dr. Dorab Sapariwala. Now let's have a look. Historically, for the BJP, the Jat vote, it gets normally 10%. That's a core kind of support for the BJP from the Jats. In 2014, it got 75, an increase of 65%, unheard of. So the Jats, from just 10% for BJP, swung completely to the BJP this time, 75%. The Yadav OBC didn't do too well, from 10% historically to about 25%, an increase of 15. Forward caste always got a substantial amount of BJP. It got 40% historically as its core vote. In 2014, it went up to 75. 75% of forward caste. That is called a real sweep. The Jatav scheduled caste didn't do too well. They are solidly Mayawati, from 10% to 20%, an increase of just percent. But look at this, the non-Jatav scheduled caste. Normally they vote for Mayawati. Remember, Mayawati is Jatav, but the non-Jatav scheduled caste, she's not that firm. The BJP used to have about 10%, but in 2014 went up to 40% of non-Jatav scheduled caste, an increase of 30%, 4 times higher. And non-Yadav OBCs also, you remember the OBC Yadavs will always vote for Akhilesh and Mulayam Singh, but for non-Yadav OBC, little more fragile. They went from 20 to 45%.